Okay, so today I am taking you to a wet market here in China. Wet markets are something that is all over China, but I just stress they're not just China, they are all over Southeast Asia. And I've also seen them in some European countries. Spain has something similar. And it's where they like to sell, generally they sell fruit, vegetables. The reason why they're called wet markets is because they sell fish, and generally that fish is live, so they're in water, so the water from those fish generally will sort of be on the floor. That's why they're called wet markets. And they sell meat and they sell fruit and vegetables and sort of pretty much everything produce wise for a meal. But the reason why they have a bad name is that this is where the coronavirus is believed to have started, in a wet market, but that's not being conclusively proven yet. So yeah, wet markets are places where people buy their daily food, and if I just spin you around, you will see that they are really hustle bustle places. There's really a lot of activity going on at wet markets, and it's very traditional here. You can see many kinds of fruit and vegetables, and they are really, but as I say, the thing is they sell many things now. You mustn't get these sort of mixed up with wild animal markets, because they are very different to wild animal markets. So over here you can see chicken, you know, you have many different things. So it's all vegetables, and we're now coming over to the section where they sell meat, and you can see here all the seafood, and it looks absolutely lovely here. All the seafood they sell, and then here you can see they sell live fish. This is where they cut live fish up and you buy it, but this is not really any different to a farmer's market back in the UK. Okay, maybe they don't sell live stuff at farmer's markets in the UK, but they do sell many different kinds of food. This is what goes on here, and you know, some of them are not as clean as others, but this one's really pretty good. This is near my house, so you can see all the and many people will talk about the hygiene of these, but what you have to remember is that, of course, when people get home, all this will be washed before it's cooked. So I think, as I said before, the biggest problem with these kind of Western people thinking here is that I think they get wet markets mixed up with wild animal markets. And you know, wild animals is something that shouldn't be sold. And there are many markets where they do sell wild animals, but there are also many that don't. There are many that just sell fruits, vegetables, seafood, meat. So you can see here, these are selling duck here, and yeah, I mean, these are places that are beautiful seafood here, also fresh. It's really nice. We often come here to buy fruit, vegetables, etc. And you know, you can see from here that they're reasonably well organized. It's clear. Obviously this is Shenzhen. They won't be so organized in the more rural areas, and they may be very different there. But yeah, as you can see here, they're really pretty nice to get all your fresh stuff from. So this is bean sprouts here, tubs of bean sprouts. And these are something that maybe you can see there. It tends to be the sort of No, not always, but it tends to be the sort of older generation. Okay, you got piles of ginger here, carrots, you know, garlic. I'm not quite sure what this is here, but it's something I don't like. Have meat here. There's lots of meat. It's all pork, and yeah, so it's you know, sometimes people will think that these places are not very hygienic, and I would potentially agree with that to a point, but what you have to remember, all this stuff gets washed when you get home before it's cooked. So yeah, this is all spices and things here. More meat. Fruit. You know, these places really pretty busy. As you can see, almost everybody wears a mask. I often come here to buy my potatoes because they're great for buying all your potatoes, fruit, vegetables, etc. Just need to adjust the camera slightly here because it's a little bit dark. Okay, so you can see here you have all your fruit and vegetables. So it tends to be the older generation that shops at wet markets. A lot of the younger generation now shops at supermarkets. But wet markets are still very, very popular places indeed, you know. They're still very popular places indeed. And you can see this morning how busy it is here. You know, you can really get all your fruit, all your vegetables, no problem whatsoever. So yeah, it's I think they're great places, and personally, you know, like I said earlier, they're not really that much different to farmers markets in other countries, and I've seen when I was in Barcelona in Spain, I've seen markets very similar to this there as well. You know, this is fish here, and they will weigh it on the scales, and then once it's weighed on the scales, so obviously you're descaling the fish there, and then gutting the fish. And then it's all into a bag, done, and then paid for. So obviously this is the reason it's called a wet market, because the floors are very wet. As you can see here now, all kinds of different shellfish, things like that, and then here you also have a lot of really, really lovely fish, and it's also fresh, you know. You don't get any sort of non-fresh stuff at these markets. Buy things from Western supermarkets, you know, it's sometimes been dead for a number of days before it even reaches the stores, where here it's very, very fresh. You can see, look, he's chopping the chicken to how the customer wants it, and yeah, like they all got these big choppers, so he's taking the wings off there for the woman, Wings and feet are the things that are the most sought after for a chicken here. The breast meat is actually very cheap. People like the feet and the wings. So as you can see, he's put that back there. So that just shows you what a wet market is like here in Shenzhen. As I say, they're not all the same everywhere. They will be different in more rural areas. But what it's important to remember is that not all wet markets are bad. Wet markets where they sell wild animals and endangered species, they're the bad ones. But that is really no excuse to shut down all wet markets. You know, many people earn their livelihood from wet markets. And, you know, you've got to think about all those people. Many people here sell fruit, vegetables, meat, which is absolutely fine. Everybody washes it before they cook it at home. It's also cooked at very high temperatures. So that brings me to the end of the video for today here in the wet market. If you like the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up because it really helps our algorithm. If you like the channel in general, hit that subscribe button, give it a share. If you really want to know when we got a new video out, hit those bells. But in the meantime, as always, take care.